Well, y'all done did it. Here is a video that I actually wasn't really sure I was gonna make or not, and then the comments happened. So many comments. And there was some real hateful shit in that whole lot of comments, so I decided to crack a beer, get drunk, and record just my voice because I don't really want to wear my fursuit right now because I'm too angry. So here's some frickin' misconceptions, and here's your goddamn disclaimer. Have a great fucking time watching this, because I sure as shit didn't enjoy making it, because I had to make it because of some idiot 4chan 15-year-old being edgy in the comments. Put away your pepes and get ready to strap in. We're gonna go through some goddamn misconceptions, y'all. Well, here we are again, talking about furries. Again, why are we talking about furries again? Well, the comments just keep coming in on that dang parents video, and I figured I'd clear up some misconceptions that I'm seeing a lot of in the comments. So here we go, misconceptions. Well, contrary to popular belief, no, not all furries have their own fursuit. In fact, a lot of the community does not own a fursuit. Most of the community does not own a fursuit. There are plenty of videos that have actual data and information that supports this. But I'm lazy and tired, so I don't feel like putting it up here, but I will happily link one of those videos below, as it actually uses real information, not just assumption. Fursuits are great. Fursuits are a great way to express your character, and not all fursuits are full suits. Not all fursuits have toony eyes. There are realistic. There are a whole bunch of different fursuits out there, and whether you want to wear one is completely up to you. But if you are furry, you don't have to own a fursuit. Like, I don't know why this is still a thing that we talk about, but no, furries do not have to wear fursuits. We don't all wear fursuits, and that is a complete misconception. Nope. Actually, we do not all have autism. It is not a thing that is exclusive to us. We do not exceptionally have it on a greater scale, but our community may potentially over-index in it. This is something that was explored by Lockstin on Lockstin Noggin. I can't say it correctly, sorry. But again, that's going to be linked below because he does a really great job of going into all the information and facts and statistics that he looked over before he made that assumption. So, no, we don't all have autism. Not that having autism is a bad thing, but you can stop saying that we all have autism, because we don't. Believe it or not, we are not all gay. We are not all trans. I myself am bisexual, yes, but completely cisgendered female. All of my characters are too. And there are plenty of furries out there that are straight and not trans. Like, it's not a unicorn phenomenon. There do exist furries that are like that. But yes, again, we do over-index in that area. You're probably going to meet more gay people in the furry fandom than you would in normal life. That's just completely normal. This community is something that promotes acceptance and inclusion. So yeah, people who in the past have not really felt included are probably going to gravitate towards us, and that's totally cool. It's why you'll probably see a lot of people who are trans in the community expressing that identity through a fursona. It's normal, and it's actually really cool. You know, if you're not the type that really wants to commit to a medical procedure to transition from male to female, yeah, there are definitely some suitors out there that use their suit as a way to express that gender that, you know, they would ideally like to be or enjoy portraying, or want to explore further in fursuit form. It's a really cool thing that we have going for us that some communities don't. But yeah, we do have quite a few gay people, quite a few bisexual people. Insert all of the other sexualities here, and quite a few trans and non-binary. Hello, I can't English today. But yeah, we have quite a few of them, but nope, we are not all trans gay people, shockingly enough. I'm not really sure how this even became a thing. When we initially started, maybe we had a much older male community skew because a lot of this fandom did start at the heart of, the Trekkie and Star Wars fandom. A lot of original fur meets did occur in those spaces, and yeah, those communities might have a higher percentage of older men because it's an older show or an older movie in the case of Star Wars, and it is predominantly a male community because, let's face it, in both Star Trek and Star Wars, there are a lot of very dominant male characters. But today, in 2017, that we have a whole bunch of young people in the community. I would even argue that our community skews a lot younger than a lot of people would think. On average, from anecdotal interactions, I'd say most furries I've encountered on the online space are between the ages of 15 and 35 on the really active side. In person at conventions and other meeting spaces, you do bump into a gaggle of older furries between the ages of 45 and 65, but it's not as common as you'd think, and it's becoming even less common as our community extends into the next generation. Some people who, were the OG furries that, really shaped the community have gone on to have kids and raise them with tolerance and acceptance in mind. So yeah, we have a whole bunch of younger furries coming in. Oh, and don't forget, we also have things like Zootopia, really making the concept of anthropomorphic animals very accessible and interesting to children, kind of like how Lion King was very accessible to us when we were younger. And insert pretty much any Disney movie with animals here. So no, we are not all sweaty old men, myself included. I'm a 28-year-old female. So I'm definitely not a sweaty old man. So that's a misconception. Okay, so from most of the comments I've been getting in the last couple of days, there is this conception, or I guess this misconception, that all furries buy fursuits to have sex in them, and then because everyone thinks that all furries have fursuits, they think that all furries have sex in fursuits, and that's all we do. But that's not correct. And of course, pop culture hasn't been kind to us on this one. There have been so many shows and movies who have used this as a punchline, and you even have shows like Tyra getting in on this, and all kinds of daytime TV poking fun at such a small percentage of our community. I'm not going to say no furries do this, but most furries don't. Most furries don't. Now, let me break down some math for you here on why that's probably the case. Your run-of-the-mill partial fursuit could cost you anywhere from maybe $900 to $1,200. And you're not exactly going to want to get busy in it because A, it's hot, and B, it's really expensive, and cleaning the types of fur that we use for that is not exactly easy. Doing that activity does mess up the fur a bit. It's a thing. You can actually tell in some instances if a fursuit's been used for that by the way the fur is matted and kind of grungy looking. But of course, don't assume that, because also someone might just have really shitty fur because it's their first fursuit they ever made, and that's also a thing. Now, as we get into the more pricey fursuits, those can run anywhere from $2,000 to $12,000, and gosh knows, you're probably not going to ruin a $12,000 suit, let alone a $3,000 suit. So that's a pretty big reason why most don't. Another pretty compelling reason is wearing a fursuit is hot. You're wearing fake fur. In some instances, you have foam padding to manipulate the look of your body to have more of a digitigrade effect, or even to have the musculature and correct anatomy of the animal you like. So the weight of that is pretty significant, and it does cause heat to naturally happen. Now, I guess the best comparison that I've heard out there is walking around in a fursuit is kind of like walking around in a couch. And I don't know if you guys get off on the idea of sweating to death doing those activities wearing a couch, but I have to imagine it's not pleasant. So most of the community is not really going to be into that. I'm not saying no one is, but it's less common because it's hot, it's sweaty, you can't really see that well. In some cases, you can't even really hear that well, and you're wearing basically the equivalent of a down payment of a car in some instances on your body. So if you're like me and you've invested a pretty decent amount of money into bringing your character to life, you're probably not gonna jump at the chance to ruin this representation. Now, there's nothing wrong with people who use their suits for that. There is an actual term for it. It's called mersuiting. But they are a minority in our community. They're not as common as you think, and your average fursuit maker who actually creates the suit that people buy in some cases may not be okay with the suit being used for that, because it is essentially a walking art piece. It would be kind of heartbreaking to see the Mona Lisa used in a porno. So understandably, a lot of fursuit makers are not really happy with the idea of their beautiful work of art going out there and being a sexual deviant. So some fursuit makers actually won't humor them with modifications. What do I mean? So a lot of fursuit makers will not make the openings that are necessary to make the sex. And that's another reason why not a lot of our community actually does that, apart from like the death-defying heat, the complete inability to see that well, and the fact that cleaning that out of fur is not pleasant. Now, what you probably see a whole bunch of is people who wear mascot suits to do that. I'm not saying there are no nice suits that do this activity, but what most people think of is mascot suits. The suits that you can get at like a mascot rental store of just like your basic bunny, where it's kind of loose and there's no real padding, and it's just basically like a big furry onesie with no articulated musculature or anatomy or anything. A lot of that is not necessarily directly correlated with us as furries. Most of us who do fursuit in really nice suits want to keep the suits looking nice, but understandably, if you're just renting a cruddy mascot suit to have a gaff and in a lot of cases film a porno or use it in an explicit way in a music video, silver gun and splint, then yeah, that's probably why most people have that misconception, is because they see what they think is a furry engaged in what they think is furry sex, and that's not usually the case. Sure, there are probably some furries that do rent mascot suits for that purpose, but it's really not most of the community. I would say it's a very small minority. Again, not bad. You do you, whatever floats your boat. You have a good, grand old time, but not the entire community. In fact, very small minority. Very, 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 very small. Anyone who has ever been on 4chan or looked up Rule 34 or really gone on the weird side of the internet has probably heard the term YIF or YIF art, and it's a thing that exists, and I'm sure that some people really enjoy looking at that kind of thing, just like anime fans may or may not enjoy hentai, and bronies may enjoy clopping, and I don't know what other fandoms call it other than like sexy fan art. But yes, that is a thing that exists. And yes, it's super weird to some people. And yes, sometimes it has childhood ruining effects for people who still have a bit of nostalgia for the characters involved. That being said, that is not the entire community. And in fact, most of us don't get into the community for that. It's a very small group that enjoys it. And of the entire community, a lot of us aren't really into that or don't really see a need to draw or engage with it. Like I said in another video, not every anime fan is into tentacle porn. And probably every brony is not necessarily into clopping. Not every furry is into that yiffy art that everyone loves to reference us for. There are definitely some who do, but it's not the entire community at large, and I would even say it's not even the point of the furry fandom. The furry fandom at its core is an appreciation of anthropomorphic animal characters, and however you choose to appreciate it is totally up to you, and you do you. But please, if you've been leaving comments about, oh god, you guys are so cringe with your GIF art, just understand that not all of us are super into it, and not all of us really want to look at it. And most of us really are kind of indifferent about the whole thing because porn is everywhere in today's society, and that's just another extension of it. And not all of us necessarily like it. I need a drink. Hang on. Let's just. Okay. So another comment I've seen a whole butt ton of is the idea that all furries want to fuck your dog. So about that. In most states, that is illegal. In certain countries, that is illegal. And most furries aren't into that. Newsflash. So anthropomorphized animals are kind of a different skew from like actual physical animals. I'm sure in the furry community there are plenty of people who are huge fans of cats and dogs, and maybe they have a pet, and maybe they're super into their pet, and you know, maybe they love going and playing fetch with Fido, or like playing with the ribbon dancer with Skitty the kitty. But that's kind of it. Most of our community has absolutely no interest in bestiality and are not zoophiles. Are not. Again, link below to Lockstin and Noggin. They did a great piece on us in general that goes into all more detail about that. But no, most of our community is not into the idea of getting jiggy with your dog. In fact, most of us are actually disgusted by that idea. Sure, we have our interesting assortment of things you can buy online if that is your thing, but for most of us, it's not our thing. And the idea of getting jiggy with your dog honestly kind of makes us want to barf, because we just enjoy dressing up sometimes as our fursona, or drawing art of our fursona, or being around other people's really cool fursonas, but not fucking your dog. Why the fuck would you think that? This beer is not strong enough. So, anytime that you're in a community that is centered primarily, but not necessarily, around content that could be misconstrued as only for kids, such as cartoons, in this case, cartoon animals, or, your interest stems from growing up with cartoon animals, never really letting it go. Having that assumption that it's only for children will sometimes lead people to make assumptions about what else you like. In this case, children. So, no, actually, most furries are not pedophiles. I don't know why I have to say that, like that's something you didn't know, but okay. So one really good example I like to use here, which really makes people so uncomfortable, but let's just go ahead and go there. In the same sense that every single Catholic is not a pedophile because certain Catholic priests like to touch little boys, most furries are not pedophiles because of some assholes who thought it would be cute to hurt kids. Literally don't know why I have to explain this. Like, why is this a thing I have to explain? We're not all pedophiles. Surprise? I really don't know how this is so hard for you to get, but like, we're not all pedophiles. I'm sure some exist. Not only in our fandom, probably in your fandom. Probably in your family, in fact. Probably one of your friends. But that's kind of like a thing that exists, and it's terrible. But, yeah, it's not most of our fandom. Didn't you know? So, I'm sure most of you guys saw the title of this video and immediately were like, oh god, oh no, what are you doing? You just made a video that's parent safe. What are you doing? Please don't undo all of that work. Well, I figured I had to clear some shit up because my comments have been a veritable treasure trove of disgusting hate spew for the last couple of days. And a lot of it centers around shit that we talk about in this video. Furries being into banging in suits. Furries into GIF art. Furries are pedophiles. Furries are into fucking my dog or your dog or someone else's dog. And it's just like, oh my god. No. That is so far from the truth. Most furries don't really have any interest in any of that shit. Like at all. Most of us just really like to watch some cartoon animals or read graphic novels with anthropomorphic puppies that go on a happy adventure, or watch Paw Patrol, or we're super excited when, FIFA had that wolf mascot. And no, we did not all draw Rule 34 porn of it. Some did. And that's their decision. But that wasn't our entire community, and I'm sorry if that triggered you. Just like I'm sorry if, some of us drew Zootopia porn, and that triggered you also. Be aware that most of us were triggered too. We didn't necessarily like seeing that either. Not all of us are super into that, and I don't know why that still has to be a thing that is said. It shocks me. It's 2017. We have conventions raising thousands of dollars for local animal shelters and helping people with self-confidence issues. We have famous furries who do voiceovers. We have famous furries who are scientists. We even have an amazing furry in the community who we lost a while ago, who was actually a really amazing person and was an EMT and actually helped people, actually helped people. I don't really help people. I just talk at my camera and sometimes it's helpful, but he actually helped people. And our community is not just one box, which for some reason, the 4chans of the world and the YouTube troll comments of the world seem to love harping on, but it's just not true. And being called like cringy and disgusting and being told to kill yourself in like 57 different comments and being told that, you know, if your child is a furry, you should abort it or gas it, or, you know, maybe we should have Hitler come back because you guys could have used another Holocaust for your furry fucking asses. Stop it. Like, come on. Anyone who left those comments in the last couple days, you are disgusting. Like, seriously. Seriously. Most of our community enjoys art. And some of us also enjoy dancing. And some of us enjoy fursuiting, but not all of us. And a healthy bunch of us also enjoy various mediums where anthropomorphic animals are present. Video games, TV shows, movies, art, world history. Yeah, even though it would be completely stupid to say that ancient Egyptians were furry, it doesn't mean that we don't appreciate it in the sense that there are some anthropomorphized characteristics with them peeps. And yeah, that's totally fine, and it's not hurting anyone. What is hurting people and what is hurting communities of all fandoms and of all interests is stupid fucking comments made by 12-year-olds who have a 4chan account and think it's funny to tell people to kill themselves all day long. A lot of my viewers are younger. I've looked. You guys skew cute, like pretty freaking young. So when I have to spend an entire day deleting comments of people directly commenting under my subscribers and telling them to go kill themselves, some of these kids are 10, 11, 15, maybe not even in high school yet. Probably one of the times they're most emotionally vulnerable, and you think it's adorable to tell them to go frickin' kill themselves? You're disgusting. Get the fuck off my channel. If you think it's adorable or hilarious, oh my god, guys, for the lols, let's tell all these people to like gas their kids if they're furries. Fucking stop it. And I get it. The parents furries video was not about coming out. I was not equating it to being gay. Like, I know, hello. But because of all of this shit, yeah, sometimes it can be really intimidating to tell people that you are a really big fan of anthropomorphic animals and you might have a fursona that you enjoy drawing or maybe fursuiting as. Yeah, it's a little intimidating sometimes. But you know what? It's okay. Our community will continue to support everyone within it and love each other and, you know, support each other as best we can. But for fuck's sake, man, if you're telling a 10-year-old to go fucking kill themselves, just delete your account. What are you even doing here? Did you come here from a Leafy is Here video? Why don't you just go back to his channel? It's the same shit all the time, and yeah, it's kind of boring and ranty, and he has no chin. But if you want to hear, like, hate spew constantly with, like, little to no creativity, kind of like your comments, go find his channel. It's a great source of that. Anyways, have a super great day, and I promise I will be in fursuit soon. I'm just trying to get my work schedule to a place where I can actually record with daylight, and I'm not there yet. So I will be soon, and hopefully by next video you will see Cupcake in all her cute pink glory, not just this amazing static image made by It's Probably Mars. Have a super lovely day, guys. Bye.